Hey everybody, welcome to Solo Joe. Today's project, we're continuing where we left off last time. Finishing patching a hole underneath my pocket. For this particular job, what I had to do is, and I rarely do this, I had to actually cut the old jean material. So I cut along the seam here, peeled all this back, slid the piece in underneath, pinned everything in, and I've been sewing. I sewed this part from the front, been doing the rest by the back. So that's what looks on the outside right now. Flip it inside out. So we can get to sewing. So get the technical sewing stuff out of the way. A friend of mine told me that the stitch that I use is called a blanket stitch. So that's one of the few that I know. That's what I use. It's my go-to. So I just noticed now that we're finished on the inside here, so I'm actually going to flip the jeans back around to the outside. That's what it looks like on the inside if you're wondering what patches look on the inside. So you're probably wondering what the deal is with the jeans, because they're patchy. Very, very patchy. Now the story is, when I was younger, I didn't have a whole lot of money, and by the time I could afford to buy jeans that were, you know, more than $10 a pair, I decided to hang on to them. And it's amazing how your childhood shapes you. People would always bug me and ask me why I don't get a new pair of jeans. You know, what's the matter? You can't afford a new pair of jeans? Well, sometimes you can't. So I just said, screw you guys. I am going to keep wearing these jeans, and I'm going to patch them, and I don't care what you think. So that was over 20 years ago. So I've had a couple of pairs of jeans, no, a few pairs of jeans, and a couple pairs of shorts that I've had, jeans that have turned into shorts, that I've had for 20 plus years. That's how you do the end. I don't know if you can see that. If you have any questions or want me to show the sewing more up close so you can actually see more what I'm doing, let me know. Leave a comment. Okay, so I'm gonna start top and go down. So I'm gonna be starting here, going to the seam and working my way down. So we'll get the first stitch in. Pretty basic stuff. And then we're going to start off our morning like usual. I have a prescription for marijuana. Not that it matters anymore, because it's all legal here anyways. So yeah, I like to start off my mornings with a bowl or two or three or however many I feel like that day. Just gotta say, the bowl that I'm using is made by a guy who calls himself Alien Slide Glass. If you want to look up, he's got really strong stuff. This one I've been banging on the corner of a glass ashtray for a long time, and I've been, you know, finally chipped it a couple times. I've dropped this thing so many times, it's so good. Alien Slide, S-L-Y-D-E. Glass. And this morning we were smoking OG Kush, grown by me. I am a legal grower. Really like the OG Kush. It's just classic, smooth, chill weed. So, last time I was discussing universal basic income, and I'm going to re-talk about that just because of technical difficulties last time. We ended up not hearing most of what I was saying about that. So, in case you're not sure, in case you haven't heard, and I'm not an expert on this by any means, so please feel free to correct me or discuss or whatever. It's basically everyone in the country, once they turn a certain age of majority here would be 18, I'm assuming. Did I mess up? Nope. Just went through another thread over here. Anyways, so after you reach the age of majority, you get a universal basic income. That's just a certain amount of money that everyone gets every month. Everyone, no matter who they are, what they do, whatever, everybody gets. And I think what they're considering is $500 a month. Let's use that number as a suppose, you know, just in case. Kind of, that's what it is, you know. Oh, what's the proper way to say that? Let's just go with that example. If you know I can't remember the proper word. If you can remember the proper word, let me know down below. So everyone would get $500 a month, and a lot of people's initial reaction is probably, I'm thinking, probably the same as mine, but probably a lot of people react differently, because mine is not the only point of view in the world, despite what I might think. So everyone would get $500 a month. This, in theory, would allow people to transition to different careers, to do things that they want to do, carry them through if they're stuck at a job that, you know, they just have to make ends meet, which a lot of jobs are. Then they would have a little bit of a cushion to transition to doing something that they love. Either help them transition through school, you know, the times when money is low, you don't have time to work because you're busy learning. It would possibly help slow down the homeless population, because people would have a little bit of money and would be able to afford a place to live, even if it is just based on that government allowance, stipend, whatever you want to call it. At least it's there. It'd stimulate the economy, puts more money out there. I don't know where it would come from. That's part of the thing that I don't understand. I guess it's just everyone's wages and income tax and all that stuff. Which is where I guess all money comes from for government stuff. Government is us, we are the government. So, interesting ideas, you know, help people get out of the situation that they're in. Help some people be able to eat every month. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Will some people abuse it? Of course. It's always the case. I think once the country settles into it and figures out what it's for and starts frowning on the abusers, I think that would change in time. People would learn that they have this extra chunk, and it's valuable. You know, I know obviously it's valuable. It's money. However, it's peace of mind. You know, a lot of people, especially times like this, don't have steady income. And, you know, for a lot of people, an extra $500 a month through this time would have saved businesses, marriages, lives. So, maybe not the worst thing in the world. We spend our money on a lot more foolish things, I think, as a government. So why not put it back into our own people's hands? It sounds like the worst idea. Okay, so I went down this side, and I was sewing this piece back on, basically, and now there's a seam under here that I want to jog over to and sew along to make sure I get this in here solidly. So I'm gonna, in case you're wondering what I'm doing, jogging way over here. That's my intent. Actually, I guess I could stop and restart. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Alright, oh yeah, okay, to tie off. Start off, meow. Do meow. Meow. Oh, meow. And, oh, you want to leave that loop more open than I did, because now it's going to tighten up way too soon, and I'm going to waste some. And that's not cool. I don't like wasting things. Not even a few inches of thread. Okay, so then we're gonna, I had been grabbing it inside the pocket, as I'm sure you saw. I'm gonna be grabbing it inside here on the seam now, and sewing through the seam. Seems to be a good idea. Sorry. Stop now. So yeah, universal basic income, I think, has potential to be a really good thing. A lot of, or I shouldn't say a lot, but a number of other very forward-looking countries use it, and it's worked well elsewhere. So why not give it a shot? Might. And I should. I heard that unemployment rates went down, so more people moved positions that they actually enjoyed. Just general life satisfaction. I'm not sure. I can't remember what that's properly called. Let me know. Leave a comment. So that was an interesting discussion I had the other day with Sarah. Sarah's my wife. She's awesome. I'm sure you'll see her pop her head in here every once in a while. Okay, so we're getting down to kind of a tight spot for our thread. So we'll do one last loop through on our blanket stitch. Slide that up through meow. This through meow, and that ties a knot at the base. And you want to do that a few times. If anybody else has any other techniques, let me know. And yeah, I might try them. Seems to be working for me so far. Alright. And forgive me. I'll be back in just a second. Okay, so we're back. And as soon as I can find where I dropped the black thread, pardon me, then we'll carry on. Okay. Threading of the needle always takes a little bit of concentration. I forgot to slowly go through the tying of the knot with you at that time. That's okay. I'm sure you can go back and slow-mo it if you really want to. Slow motion sewing. Holy crap. What's the world coming to? So, anyways, yeah, you guys are probably wondering about the shirt. It's pretty loud. Lumpley's pretty loud. He's a good dude. Lumpley is a character that my friends created. Some friends of mine own a t-shirt or apparel printing, screen printing business. StokeScreenPrinting.com. And they also own a skateboard manufacturing shop and skate shop. Scamskate.com. No, this is not a paid for program. They're just really good friends of mine. Check them out. Really good dudes. So I figured rather than me being the face of Sew with Joe and having to worry about the look that I have on my face and whether or not I remember to shave or any other stuff like that, that Lumpley could be the face of So With Joe. Maybe not just Lumply, but I'm thinking the scam shirts in general will be a regular background for you. That's cool. And Lumply, I can't remember the name, the story behind him. Each of their characters has a backstory, and I'll tell them when I wear the shirts. But I can't remember Lumply's. He's a really happy guy, you know, with a tie. So yeah, we'll just go with that. There are a few other characters, like I say, there's Conkle and the Hungry Potato. Hungry Potato. It's probably one of my favorites, though he is a little bit sad because he's hungry. But we'll get through that yet. The other bit of clothing that I've chosen to display today is a red dragon sweater with a hoodie, with a hood, and the deers, and the red dragon logo. So, red dragon logo framing. So, that's what that is. I am a fan of the red dragon apparel. And the team being Canadian and totally fucking gnarly. Sorry. Oh yeah. Oops. After my first stitch I was gonna have another thong rip here. I think I'm gonna do that. Pause for the cause, as they say. Ashy. Tappy. I run a glass screen that apparently had thread on it. Glass screen it up. Add the marijuanas. Another bit of OG Kush that I had kicking around. I use a golf tee as a tool for packing and for picking. It works really well and they're cheap. So once you get one all gooey and gross, you just throw it in the fire and yeah, carry on with your life. Oh, maybe not in the fire because it's painted. I don't know, not sure what you do with that. Garbage, I guess. I'd burn it. Anyway, I get the long ones, the long tees. Pardon the sniffling, I'm a little congested today, and I keep dropping the thread. Okay. When I use hemp wick, if you're not familiar with hemp wick, it's just hemp string and, in this case, beeswax. The beeswax is nice. It's natural, hemp natural. Alright. Back to life. to reality. I hope you enjoy just chilling out with me. It's a nice morning routine. I've started trying to do at least 20 minutes of sewing in the morning. Usually turns into more like 30 or 40. I have no idea how long I've been going at this right now, but 2 threads, yeah, probably over half hour. Sounds silly if I'm not. We'll see. No concept of time. So I poke through to see where the seam is, and I go over just into the seam a little bit through, and then back up right beside the seam. So I'm like looping through the seam, or around the seam kind of thing. Yeah, scam skate. I got back into skateboarding. Oh man. I guess it's been... I may be wrong on this. Let me think. 17... 4 years? Yeah, 4 years ago, I think. 5 years ago, something like that. Got back into skateboarding. I went out and I actually bought a longboard, complete, just to get my balance back. Picked up a nice Sector 9 complete with the drop-through trucks and drop-through deck, and the kicktails on each end. Really cool graphic on the bottom. I can't really describe it, it's just kind of art. And then once I kind of got my balance, I decided I wanted to try something a little more agile, I guess, and picked up another board, what would they call it, traditional board right now, the popsicle, I guess. And that was fun. Yeah, so I went to a snake run. If you don't know what a snake run is, it's basically like a downhill winding river of concrete. Let's put it that way. And you start at the top and you carve the corners, the waves of the concrete on the way down. And it's a great way to learn your balance and not always being like flat on the ground, being on angles and not just pushing around. I love using a skateboard for transportation. Where I'm living now, it's not really all that feasible because we have about a half mile of gravel before there's any concrete. So you can skate the gravel. I've done it. Good thing I checked. Starting to stitch into my pocket. I don't want to do that. Is that? Yeah, so that's sewn there to there. It's all sewn all the way. Awesome. So I'm going to tie it off. Yeah, I just go back through an intersection of threads through some of the material most often. You can just do the threads and then back through the loop that you just created. Cinch it tight. Satisfying. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed joining me today. I enjoyed having you and doing my patch. My patch. my morning patch. I might run along here next time, we'll see. I might move on to a different project to have some actual, well actually these jeans still need a lot, so that might, I might continue with that next time. I do appreciate you joining me. If you have anything to say about what you've seen and heard here today, please feel free to leave me a message, leave me a comment. Maybe not, I don't know, I can't even remember on YouTube. It's been a while since I've done YouTube regularly. I don't know if you can still DM people directly. It's been a while. But yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything that you'd like to see, anything that you don't want to see. I know I sniffle and make human noises, but can't always help that. I do apologize if there's anything too obscene for you. And yeah, so that sort of looks like from the outside. I'm actually going to trim this back a little bit with the mini travel scissors. These are Sarah's, they're awesome, so handy. I keep them in my travel kit. Actually what I'm using right now is my travel kit, and I'll keep some safety pins, some thread, some needles, some patch material. Keep that all in a little plastic container, and I throw that in my bag, and that goes with me many places. So yeah, pocket is still usable, which is a bonus. This I'll have to patch yet. Maybe that'll be next, we'll see. There's some bigger problems at hand, so we'll see what happens there. Well, these ones I should show you. I have a pocket sewn in. This is a cargo pocket off of a pair of army pants. And I had this tear all the way across, and it was just the right size for that pocket to fit into. So I've got a natural opening in the jeans and a pocket, and just sewn in from the back. Yeah, I'll show you the work from today from the back. I'll show you that pocket and try to get it through the right leg hole this time. That's a big, it's going to be a big patch. It might be a few episodes. Okay, so what I did today. It is still usable, it's pinned down across there, but it is still functional. I'm going to be extending the pockets too. That's another thing. These pockets are way too short for cell phones these days. They were too short back then anyways. They always bothered me. I couldn't actually put my hand in my pocket. Like, come on. That's not cool. So I'm going to cut and add a piece. Pardon. And so what I did today from the back, I guess you can't really see the one because it's in there, and then the other one along the side here, just catching the edge of that seam. And it doesn't matter what it looks like from the inside, as long as it's, well, I was going to say as long as it's quasi-consistent, but it isn't really. It doesn't really matter. That's one thing I've learned over my lifetime. You just gotta say something to some things it's not that important, because it isn't. Some things you're stressing over and you think about it in the big scheme of things, and really, it's not that important. Pocket from the back. I used to do a different stitch back then. I don't know what it's called. If you do, let me know. And yeah, thanks so much for joining me. It's been a nice morning. I actually don't talk very much, so this is kind of cool. Just getting to chat with no one, just share my thoughts, share my day. Anybody that wants to watch and know about me can. Well, till next time. Peace.